can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you some easy Christmas decor DIYs that are super inexpensive and a great addition to your holiday decor. So I'm first starting with this large picture that I'm going to place on my mantle, and I'm starting by painting the whole thing white. This is actually a scrap of plywood from another project that I did, and I'm adding these 1x2s that were also from another project. I'm just sanding them down and I'm going to place them around the plywood as a frame.
Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times.
And as you can see, I just added some stain to the other side of the strip, and now I'm placing them around the front of the board, and I'm just securing them with a brad nailer.
That's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time.
Now moving on to the actual art, I found this image on Google and I just printed it out on 6 sheets of computer paper, and I'm laying it out on my picture. Now I learned this trick in elementary school. I'm flipping over each page and I'm coloring on the back side of it, sort of outlining the design. And once I have all my pieces placed on the front, I'm tracing over the design on the front side of the paper to transfer the design over onto the picture. And now the last step is to trace over your pencil lines with paint. I'm personally using a paint marker that I got at Michael's. I highly recommend it. It was super easy to use and it went on super smooth. It made this process a lot faster than using just regular paint and a paintbrush. This was definitely my favorite out of the DIYs. Large pictures like this can be upwards of $100, and I made mine completely out of material I already had on hand. The next picture is super easy. I'm just taking this plaid fabric I bought off of Amazon and stapling it to the back of this plywood. And now I'm repeating the same process of using 1x2s to create a frame around the front. For the last picture, I created the frame with the same plywood and 1x2s, and then I used a Cricut vinyl for the design. You can also use the same technique we used for the first picture if you don't own a Cricut. And here's how I styled my DIYs. I really love how they turned out and how they look all together on my mantle. For my next DIY, I really wanted to make a sign for my front door. I bought this wooden craft circle on Amazon for $10. I measured to find the center and taped it off using painter's tape. I then painted the top half white and used a stain for the bottom.
How I'm so lucky to have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way. We'll put our differences aside and just enjoy this moment of peace and love and happiness. We come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow is falling down. And it is
Now I was too impatient to wait for my paint to dry, so I freehanded the center line, but you can always move the tape up once the paint dries to get a nice clean line in the center. And again, I'm using the same technique to transfer on the words, but you can also freehand this if you have a nice handwriting or use a stencil. finish this off, I'm going to add a bow. This was actually pretty simple. I cut a couple different pattern ribbons into 10-inch strips. I made a bunch of loops and pinched them all together in the center, then secured it with a zip tie. I then placed it flat on my circle and spread out the bottom pieces of ribbon. I secured it with my staple gun and cut off some of the excess. I then stapled a strip of ribbon to the back and hung it using a command hook.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fire.
For my last DIY, I am creating these painted stacked books I've seen all over Pinterest. I'm actually using these old books that were left in our basement when we moved into this house. I'm painting them white using white chalk paint, and I didn't bother to paint the full top of the other books since you won't see them when they're stacked. And once again, I'm using the same process to transfer the words over onto the books.
We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe, and I've gotten you a present.
And then I wrapped the books in a piece of ribbon that I secured with my staple gun, and then I just began making loops with the ribbon at the top to form a bow.
The snow is falling down, and the storm is on its way, but as long as you're around, everything will be okay.
And here is the finished look.
Tomorrow it is Christmas.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe for some more DIYs.